In the high-stakes world of monetary policy, where words carry the weight of billions in financial fortunes, the deafening silence from the Bank of England's governor has become a riddle wrapped in an enigma. For more than 2 months, Andrew Bailey has refrained from uttering a single public syllable, leaving economists, investors, and the public alike to decipher the central bank's next move through a fog of data interpretations and tea leaf readings. This silent treatment comes at a pivotal juncture, as the specter of inflation continues to haunt the British economy, casting uncertainty over the path forward for interest rates. Will the Bank of England cut rates to stimulate growth, or maintain its hawkish stance to curb rising prices? The answer, it seems, lies in the sphinx-like inscrutability of Bailey's prolonged muteness. The governor's wordless vigil is all the more perplexing in the wake of recent economic data that has sent conflicting signals. Inflation figures have exceeded expectations, suggesting a need for tighter monetary policy. Yet, the broader economic landscape remains fraught with risks, calling for a more accommodative stance to buoy growth. It's funny that Bailey hasn't spoken yet, remarks Tomasz Wielodek, chief European economist at T. Rowe Price and a former Bank of England official. There's going to be a cut in either August or September, but it's hard to pin it down. In a world where central bank communication is akin to a carefully choreographed dance, Bailey's silence has left market participants stumbling in the dark, grasping for any shred of insight into the Monetary Policy Committee's collective psyche. Unlike his counterparts at the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, who have embraced the art of foreshadowing policy moves, Bailey has long played down the importance of spoon-feeding signals to investors. This stoic stance, however, has drawn criticism from none other than former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke, who has questioned the Bank of England's approach to messaging. The governor's reticence is particularly striking in the aftermath of the July 4th general election, which ushered in a 6-week blackout period for policymakers. While 4 members of the 9-member Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, have shared their views, their comments have largely reinforced existing perceptions of hawkish or dovish leanings, offering little in the way of fresh insights. It's meant we've placed a lot of weight on the June minutes to gauge what could happen next month, but it's far from clear that's the right benchmark, laments Dan Hansen, chief UK economist at Bloomberg Economics. It's very hard to have a strong conviction about what the Bank of England will do. The upcoming August 1st decision looms as a potential turning point, one that could determine whether Bailey sides with the doves advocating for rate cuts or the hawks' warning of lingering inflationary pressures. The June meeting minutes revealed a finely balanced judgment among some members, fueling speculation of an imminent rate cut, a prospect that has since faded, with traders now pricing in only a 40% chance of such a move. In the absence of Bailey's voice, the market has been left to parse the utterances of his colleagues for clues. The hawkish camp has dominated recent communications, with Jonathan Haskell and Catherine Mann signaling reluctance to loosen policy prematurely. Hill, the chief economist, struck a more balanced tone, but still cautioned that the timing of a rate move remains an open question. The more important thing was the Hill speech, says Wielodek. We should put more emphasis on the Hill speech precisely because Andrew Bailey hasn't spoken. Yet, the silence of the Bank of England's 3 deputy governors, Claire Lombardelli, Dave Ramsden, and Sarah Breeden, only adds to the mystique. Their support could prove pivotal in swaying the committee's decision, particularly as Lombardelli assumes responsibility for compiling economic forecasts. Bailey's muteness has also deprived the markets of 2 traditional set-piece events: his testimony before Parliament's Treasury Committee and the annual Mansion House speech, where the governor typically addresses London's financial elite. Both events have been postponed due to the election, further obscuring the central bank's intentions. The difficulty of deciphering the Bank of England's intentions is not a new phenomenon. In 2021, policymakers left investors bewildered when they unexpectedly held rates steady in November, only to raise borrowing costs the following month. A similar period of radio silence between December 2021 and February 2022 further fueled speculation and uncertainty. In response to criticism, Bailey has defended the central bank's approach, asserting that it is not the MPC's responsibility to steer markets day by day and week by week. This stance finds support from Jagjit Chudda, director of the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, who suggests that markets can be a little bit needy. Yet, other central banks have adopted a more explicit communication strategy, though not without their own missteps. The Federal Reserve's dot plot projections, once heralded as a beacon of transparency, have been pared back after proving overly prescriptive. The European Central Bank, meanwhile, made such a strong pledge to lower borrowing costs in June that it ended up delivering on that promise only reluctantly, after data showed a resurgence in inflation. Amidst this cacophony of central bank discourses, some market participants have found solace in Bailey's silence. Neil Mehta, a portfolio manager at RBC BlueBay AM, argues that the governor's reticence has brought greater clarity than his words ever could. When Bailey talks, he actually confuses the market more, Mehta asserts. When you consider the last 6 months of rates decisions, if you had just looked at the data and not listened to any of the MPC speeches, you'd have got it right. As the nation holds its collective breath for the Bank of England's next move, the enigma of Bailey's silence looms large. Is it a deliberate strategy, a calculated pause to let the data speak for itself? Or is it a symptom of a deeper indecision, a central bank grappling with the complexities of a post-pandemic world? Only time will tell if the governor's sphinx-like silence will be broken, or if the markets will be left to decipher the hieroglyphics of economic data, parsing every syllable uttered by his colleagues for clues to the monetary policy puzzle. For now, the Bank of England remains a riddle wrapped in an enigma, its intentions shrouded in a veil of inscrutable silence, a testament to the delicate dance of central bank communication in an ever-shifting economic landscape.